Welcome boys and girls, Costin here with Grave Assembly's hotfix patch for Warhammer 3 that should resolve the Lizardmen and Tomb King issues, as well as potentially the Beastmen. Though they've made it clear that this patch is about fixing the situation for Tomb Kings and Lizardmen. So let's take a look if they've actually managed it. Well, Tic-Tac-Toe is on the brink of being wiped out by Warzag, but we can see that he has recruited army. So he has his initial army over there, he has a secondary army right there. Warzag winning against him is normal. Then we look at Krokgar, we can see that he's got 2 full stacks, or almost 2 full stacks, no, 2 full stacks, and then a third army. This is turn 10, he's conquering territory, he's working. Khalida, 2 full stacks as well. Almost defeated the initial vampires that she starts a war with, etc. He has 1 army, and he's recently gotten a second one. He's beating crap out of Manfred, actually. Oxyatl, moving over here in the south, starting to march on the Castways on dealing with the minor faction of Tzeentch. 2 armies, a third over there. Tenowin, 2 armies, a third. Pretty normal. How it should be. I emphasize on this. Then Mazdamundi, also multiple armies, 2 armies and a bit. That's normal on Legendary. This is on Legendary. I'm just using Toggle Flag of War, and I also use Console Command to get some alliances. What about the Beastmen? Well, that's a bit of a weird one, I gotta admit, because I'm not sure where the heck Tarax is in all of this. I'm not seeing him, even though I use Console Command to ally him. But if I look at Malagor, the Dark Omen, we can see that he has a full army. Sure, it's a bunch of Beastmen tier 1 awfulness, but yes, we do have Beastmen armies, we do have Beastmen recruitment, so that has been resolved. Well, as much as you can consider the pre-6.3 situation as being resolved, there's still a lot of issues. Chaos Dwarfs, something they did mention, and they did specifically say that Chaos Dwarfs are going to recruit a bunch of laborers and hobgoblins. If we take a look at the Chaos Dwarf factions, we can see pretty much that. We see a bunch of hobgoblins, we see a bunch of laborers across these factions. Though this is only 10 turns in, but still, you shouldn't recruit laborers as Chaos Dwarfs, or you should only recruit them and the first thing you should do is get that military recruitment building for hobgoblins at the very least within this time period. So, you know, issues still exist. Astrogoth is different because he at least got the hobgoblin building, but at least that has been resolved. So, problem solved? No. Let's be very clear on something here. Regardless of how you feel about this issue, this is an issue that took them a month and a half, or over a month and a half, to resolve. And the only reason they resolved it in a month and a half, as opposed to 2 months plus, as they intended originally with Tides of Torment, is because of the community backlash. This is not how things should be. And one of the things I also want to point out about the Tomb King and Lizardman situation is that they actually broke it from the early access version for creators, then to the PTR, then to the full release. Because Lizardmen, I think they had a problem from the moment they were updated in 6.3. But Tomb Kings actually initially worked with their AI. And then they broke Tomb King AI. I think Beastmen were in the same boat. That is not acceptable. Let's leave it out. Like, you can't just leave an issue like this that should have been fixed even before 6.3 came out full version. Like, having it on the PTR, okay, fair enough, you know, or in a beta version, fair enough. But it should have been fixed before it was fully released. I understand the issue was more complicated than we might believe. I understand that. Some people who have taken a look in the Warhammer code have apparently found out that Grave Assembly Sophia has actually been trying to improve the code, but obviously that's a work in progress. But this was not freaking acceptable for them to leave the community hanging for this long a time. Is this enough? I don't think so. I think there's a lot more things to do, and I'm not trying to be a drama queen. Like, obviously, Creative Assembly wants the temperature to go down right now, but the reason the community was outraged was not just because Lizardmen and Tomb Kings were broken. Because let's be frank about this, how many people really care to play Lizardmen campaigns? Not many, of course. There are some, but in terms of popularity scale, if you're telling me out of the 100k people it affected more than 10, 20k daily users, I'm not sure I believe that. But even so, it was just that critical point where, combined with Legend's situation and everything that came out from that, people just had enough. And so you might have solved the issue you created, CA, but you haven't solved the community backlash. And that is my perspective on all of this. You may feel free to disagree on that. I guess we'll find out what happens now. What do I think they should do? Well, I think we need a better situation for Beastmen and Chaos Dwarfs to be improved. We need a better situation of recruitment of vampire counts. We need a changeling and Mederic to actually do something on the campaign map. All those kind of things do need to be improved in Warhammer 3, and then we can start talking about multiple issues as well. Hopefully, and you might call me naive for saying this, but hopefully they do learn a very important lesson in all of this and won't do this again. Hopefully. Fingers crossed, right? You never know how this is going to play out, but that would be my personal perspective on that subject. Maybe it was the wake-up call that Creative Assembly needed, and they will not repeat this situation again. Worth saying, though, what I've said from the very start of this situation, that what Creative Assembly started doing after 2024 was much better than what they had done pre-2024. So keep that aspect in mind. The people who screwed up in a major way before 2024, a lot of them probably aren't in the company anymore. Sega was not happy about everything that unfolded back then, and Sega did fire a lot of people. Now, I'm not sure how many of those people were responsible for decision making, but we do know at least one name, one person that certainly was responsible because he was essentially in charge, and that's Rob Bartholomew. But it was never really a question about Rob Bartholomew, right? So we'll find out. I suppose it's better late than never, right? To wake up, and if there's a silver lining in all of this, it's better that this happened now than with Tides of Torment release or with the next Total War game. Because that would have actually been really consequential. Questine signing out.